Welcome! Do you want to learn English in a fun and easy way? In this video, we teach English using narrated, animated stories. Here is how it works. On the left, watch the beautiful animations. They are designed to help you understand and enjoy the story. On the right, you can read along as you listen to the narrator. When we reach a difficult word, don't worry. A box will appear at the bottom with a simple definition and an example to help you learn. Let's get started.
In Seoul, South Korea, people often have very different ideas about body weight. Imagine two groups in the same city with completely opposite goals. First, consider college students studying classical music. They sometimes want to get bigger. Why? South Korea has mandatory military service for young men. If a man is very overweight, he might be declared unfit for duty. So some students try to gain weight quickly. They drink protein shakes and eat high-calorie foods. They even drink special juice to look heavier for medical exams. Their goal is to avoid military service, not to be healthy. They use their body weight as a strategy to escape. Next, think of a young woman looking for a job. For her, becoming thinner is crucial. She wants to look perfect for her resume photo. In South Korea, physical appearance can greatly affect job chances. Companies used to ask for height and weight on applications. A slim, beautiful photo is still seen as a big advantage. This young woman might eat very little. She aims to use her body to improve her job prospects, believing it will help her get ahead. These two examples show a strange situation in South Korea. Globally, the country has one of the lowest rates of obesity among rich nations. Most people are quite thin compared to other countries. But many Koreans are very worried about getting fat by their own strict standards. The country has a huge diet industry and many plastic surgery clinics.
Local definitions of fat are much tougher than global ones. Someone considered healthy worldwide might be seen as obese in Korea. This difference causes a lot of worry. So, why do people in the same city have such different, even dangerous, goals for their bodies? It's because in South Korea, weight is rarely just about health. It is a powerful tool for survival. It can help avoid military service or secure a good job. These extreme measures might lead to success, or they could cause absolute ruin. 2. The job photo. A job photograph in South Korea was not just a picture. It held great power. It could determine a person's entire future, deciding if they got a good job or not. Getting work in a competitive society was very important, and a perfect photo for a job application was a big step. Many young people spent their money on professional hairstyling, makeup, and special photo sessions just to get the right headshot. For many years, job resumes in Korea were different from those in most other developed countries. They legally asked for a person's height, weight, and a clear headshot. These personal details had no obvious connection to if someone could do the job well, but companies often used them to choose new workers. This strong focus on judging people by their physical appearance is called lookism, or oimojisongjuey in Korean. It was a common word, not just used by experts or in academic talks, but in everyday conversations and even headlines.
People faced a lot of discrimination because of how they looked. A survey in 2017 showed that almost 40% of people felt judged unfairly for their appearance when applying for jobs. Job advertisements sometimes asked for neat or beautiful candidates, meaning how they looked was a key part of the job. Some ads even said no mustaches or tattoos. It seemed that having cosmetic surgery was almost a requirement for some jobs, a way to get the right look. Because of this widespread problem, a new law was made to try and bring change. On July 17, 2019, this law took effect. It stated that companies with more than 30 workers could no longer ask job applicants about their family members, where they were from, if they were married, if they owned property, or physical traits like height and weight. This was only if these things were not directly relevant to the job itself. The law was called the Amended Fair Hiring Procedure Act, and it aimed to stop unfair hiring practices. If companies broke this law, they could face large fines, up to 30 million won for corrupt hiring. However, the new law mainly covered written application materials. It was harder to control what happened during face-to-face job interviews or phone calls. So while the official paperwork changed, the underlying culture of judgment did not vanish completely or overnight. Job photos still remained a common part of applying for many jobs in the private business world. Research showed that people who reported experiencing appearance discrimination often felt less healthy in their own bodies year after year. Today, new and very strict beauty standards continue to put pressure on young people. One example is Wonyoungism, a term that refers to an impossible beauty ideal, often linked to K-pop idols. This standard is so exacting that even conventionally attractive celebrities are sometimes seen as not perfect enough. So, can a simple piece of paper with your photo on it actually ruin your chances of living a normal life? The new law attempted to remove these unfair rules, but the secret judgments did not disappear. They just hid in the shadows, waiting for the next interview. 3. The magic pill. The diet industry in South Korea is a massive business, worth billions of dollars. By 2024, its value was about $5.5 billion, and experts believe it will grow to over $11 billion by 2035. This industry sells many things to help people lose weight, from special food supplements to meal replacements. In Korea, people often think of dieting as lifelong homework, or Pyeongsang Sukje. This means it is a task that is never truly finished, no matter how thin someone might already be. It suggests a constant, never-ending effort to manage one's body.
One very popular type of diet pill is called the butterfly pill, known as phentermine. This drug is incredibly strong and works by stopping hunger. Because of its power, doctors must follow very strict rules when prescribing it. The government even classifies it as a narcotic, meaning it has a high risk of causing addiction. Despite these tight controls, millions of Koreans receive prescriptions for it. From 2020 to mid-2024, over 7.2 million patients were prescribed these strong appetite suppressants. Most of these prescriptions, about 94%, were given to women, especially those in their 30s and 40s. What is more concerning is that these powerful pills are sometimes given to young children. This happens even though the rules clearly state that people under 16 should not receive them. Researchers have found cases where children as young as 10 were prescribed these drugs. There are also reports of teenagers obtaining phentermine illegally through social media. These young people often feel pressure to be thin and believe they are fat,
even when medical professionals say their weight is not a serious health concern. This widespread use and the illegal trade highlight the deep societal pressure to achieve a specific body size. Recently, newer weight loss medicines, known as GLP-1 drugs, have also arrived in Korea.
Brands like Ozempic, Wegovy, and Mounjaro offer another medical way to manage weight. These drugs are expensive and require careful medical supervision. Their arrival adds a new, medically advanced option to a market already full of pills, teas, and special diet foods. This shows how much the nation is leaning on medical and chemical solutions for body management. This raises an important question. Why are trusted doctors providing strong, addictive drugs, sometimes to young children who are not even overweight? This paradox highlights a growing obsession with body size. Society has become dependent on these medical miracles that promise to shrink the body. However, this intense focus on chemical solutions and diet products is slowly pushing the nation towards a dangerous edge, creating a widespread reliance on substances rather than promoting natural health and well-being. The Beauty City. Seoul has a special area known as the Beauty Belt in Gangnam District. Here you can find more than 500 cosmetic surgery clinics. This part of the city has become famous around the world for changing how people look, almost like a global factory for faces. Many people come here for surgery. It is common for women in South Korea to have cosmetic work. About 1 out of 5 Korean women have had surgery. In Seoul, this number is even higher for women in their 20s. About half of them have had cosmetic procedures.
This high prevalence shows how much focus is placed on appearance. Not just Koreans visit these clinics. People from other countries come too. This is a big part of the medical tourism business. Between 2009 and 2022, the number of foreign patients grew a lot. Now, almost half of all cosmetic surgery patients in Seoul are from other countries. They often buy special packages that include surgery, hotel stays, and help with language. These packages make it easy for international visitors to access the specialized care. The most popular surgeries aim to create a very specific kind of beauty. These are not about losing weight through surgery. Instead, they focus on changing facial features to match a narrow ideal. Common operations include double eyelid surgery to make eyes look bigger and rhinoplasty to reshape the nose bridge. V-line jaw surgery is also popular. This surgery makes the jawline look smaller and more delicate, creating a V-shaped silhouette. Double eyelid surgery is especially popular, with hundreds of thousands of cases each year, making it the most common operation. The physical features are carefully manufactured to fit this very narrow ideal. The prices for these surgeries in Seoul are often much lower than in places like the United States or Western Europe. This difference in cost makes Seoul a top choice for people globally seeking beauty enhancements. Experts say this industry is part of a larger system. This system includes makeup and entertainment. All these parts work together, reinforcing each other to set a very specific idea of beauty. They also influence what young women think they can achieve in life, linking success and acceptance to their appearance. This highlights how deeply ingrained beauty standards are in South Korea. People believe that changing their face might promise a perfect life. However, patients often learn that the need to look flawless never truly ends. Instead,
the pressure only evolves into something harder. It becomes a continuous journey to maintain an impossible standard. This continuous pursuit of an ideal look defines much of the cosmetic landscape in Seoul. 5. The pop stars. K-pop is famous for its bright stars, but behind the scenes, the training is very tough. Young people, some as young as 13, want to become idols. They join special training systems. In these systems, their look is very important. Agencies control how they appear. Trainees have to follow strict rules. They have daily weight checks. Their meals are often very small. Many former idols say they had to eat very little. Some agencies even made them drink less water to seem lighter. Diets could be as low as 800 calories a day. These young performers also have very busy schedules. Male idols also face pressure to lose weight quickly before they release new music. This harsh system has caused problems. Some agencies now try to help. They hire people who know about food and offer healthy meals.
They know that stars need strength for long concerts. But not all companies have changed. The government noticed these issues. In 2023, the National Assembly passed a new law. It is called the Popular Culture and Arts Industry Development Act. This law helps protect young trainees, especially those who are still children. Even after becoming famous, idols face constant scrutiny. People on TV shows and social media talk a lot about how much celebrities weigh. If an actor gained weight, photos of him went viral. He then said sorry and promised to lose weight. But being too thin can also cause problems. One singer had to say sorry for looking too thin after fans got worried. This shows that the acceptable weight for idols is very narrow. It is hard for them to find a balance. The world sees the perfect smiles of K-pop stars, but behind them are strict rules and sacrifices. The government wants to help these young artists, but will fans who want perfect idols accept a healthy body on stage? Only time will tell if these changes are enough to protect the stars. The intense pressure to be perfect continues. This phenomenon affects many young lives in the K-pop world. 6. The sick teens. The extreme focus on beauty in South Korea has led to a very serious health problem, especially for young people. Many teenagers are getting sick because they feel they must be very thin to meet high beauty standards.
This is causing a devastating medical crisis for the nation. In 2024, medical records showed that more than 14,000 teenagers, aged 10 to 19, needed treatment for anorexia. This large number made up half of all anorexia patients in the country that year. A very high percentage, about 82%, were girls. Doctors say that eating disorders are not just about food. They are deeply connected to a teenager's general mental well-being and their feelings about themselves. Studies over the past decade clearly show that the number, or prevalence, of eating disorders is climbing steadily. This trend is concerning, even though South Korea officially has a low rate of obesity compared to many Western countries. For many young people, the problem is not their actual body weight. Instead, it is how they perceive their body. If they believe they are overweight, they might start very extreme and dangerous diets. The internet makes this problem much worse for teenagers. There are many informal online communities where young people share ideas about extreme food restriction. They often encourage each other to eat less and less. At the same time, mukbang shows are hugely popular. These are online videos where people live stream themselves eating large amounts of food.
While popular entertainment, some experts believe that watching mukbang might also contribute to disordered eating patterns among viewers. Another big problem is the stigma connected to mental health problems. Many families in Korea believe that mental health struggles should stay private. They feel that showing emotion or asking for professional help might bring shame or burden others. This cultural belief creates a significant barrier, stopping young people from getting the important treatment they need. Even as the country's medical infrastructure for mental health slowly gets better, these strong social beliefs still prevent many from seeking timely help. As hospital beds fill up with more and more young patients, society is forced to confront this quiet but deadly crisis. It is a serious challenge that threatens to harm the health and future of an entire generation in South Korea. 7. Time to change. In 2018, a new movement began in South Korea. It was called Escape the Corset, known as tall corset in Korean. This movement quickly grew across social media. Young women showed their strong protest against the crushing pressure to be beautiful. They did this by cutting their long hair short and destroying their makeup. They shared photos of these actions online using a special hashtag, which meant proof of discarded corset. This was their way to declare no to the endless demands of beauty. The women felt tired of spending so much effort, time, and money to fit strict beauty ideals. They saw these daily beauty routines as a form of oppression. They believed these practices marked women as having a lower social status. The goal was to break free from traditional gender norms for fashion, makeup, and hairstyles. This new way of thinking was also influenced by the global Me Too movement, which was gaining strength in the same year. There were also large public protests against illegal spy cam pornography, where hidden cameras filmed women without their knowledge or consent. The women in Escape the Corset understood that acting together, not just as individuals, was powerful. They wanted to show society that women could live full and happy lives without constantly trying to achieve impossible beauty standards. However, this bold movement quickly met a strong negative reaction called a backlash. Many people in traditional society did not agree with these changes. They often felt that women should continue to follow older customs about their appearance. This backlash was very intense, and in some ways it continues even today. Because of this constant pushback, some young women began to practice what scholars called quiet feminism. This meant they held their beliefs about gender equality and freedom from beauty standards privately. They chose not to declare their feminist identity openly to avoid social problems or criticism.
Despite these visible protests and the strong feelings they raised, the beauty industry in Korea did not slow down. Its revenue figures showed that it continued to grow and make billions of dollars, even through and after 2018. Yet, Escape the Corset achieved something very important. It gave a public name and a visible face to the frustration many women had felt in private for years. It started a vital debate about Korean beauty standards. This discussion continues today in classrooms, on online comment sections, and even in celebrity interviews. The brave actions of these women sparked both anger and important changes in how people think.
But the massive beauty machine is fighting back harder than ever to keep its power and influence. The path to truly changing beauty expectations in South Korea remains a difficult one, as the pressure to look flawless never truly stops. 8. The final truth. This final chapter brings us back to the start. In South Korea, being heavy can sometimes help young men. It is a loophole in the military service rules. Almost all men must serve in the army for about 2 years. But if a man's body mass index, BMI, is too high, he might not have to serve active duty. This can lead to disqualification. Some students even gained a lot of weight on purpose. They ate high-calorie foods and drank special juices before their medical exams. Their goal was to seem heavier. They wanted their BMI to be high enough to avoid hard military training.
But this plan is risky. One man was punished with a suspended prison term for gaining more than 20 kilograms to escape service. He had to stop his job and eat a lot to change his body. Now, the military itself is thinking about changing these rules. The country has fewer young men because the birth rate is low, so the military might let heavier men serve active duty soon. This shows that the body's weight is not just about health, it is about what the country needs. Many old cultural ideas make people focus on their bodies. Confucianism, for example, values how a person looks and acts. It connects outward looks to a person's good character. Also, South Korea grew very fast economically. This created a lot of competition. Appearance became another important thing to manage for success, like a project. Another reason is collectivism. This means the group is more important than one person. Standing out in a bad way, like being too heavy, can have a bigger social cost here. The beauty industry also makes a lot of money by keeping beauty standards very strict. So here is the paradox. By global standards, Koreans are thin, but by their own strict standards, many are now considered overweight. The country's own doctors are worried about people gaining weight. The body is seen as something to be controlled and improved. This system is very strong, but people are starting to speak up. Groups are challenging these strict beauty rules.
The future of South Korea's beauty standards is still changing. What do you think is the main reason behind this intense pressure to look perfect? And have you ever felt similar pressure in your own country? Let us know in the comments below.
Hey there! Just a second before you go. If you learned something new today, please give this video a like, write your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel. It only takes a second, and it really, really helps to create even better English videos for you. Your support means the world. Thank you.